Welcome in, welcome, welcome. If you'd like to receive a little clearing and blessing for your day, then here it is. Wherever you are, however you've gotten here, exactly where you are right now is where you're meant to be. Whether your mind agrees or not, just be for one moment with yourself. Maybe place your hand on your heart. Maybe just take a few breaths, some deep breaths. Just be here now. Think about your toes, the bottoms of your feet, your heels. With no judgment, just feel your ankles, your heels rooting into the ground and toes, wherever they are, each one of them, one at a time. One, two, three. Think about being here. And place your hands on your belly or your legs, somewhere that feels comfortable and secure for you. I don't always bring in different shamanic tools. Sometimes I just talk about shamanic ideas here and I save it for the work that I actually do with people. Uh, but there are some times where I feel like we need a little cleanse, and sometimes bringing these elements onto even the channel or into social media to me feels better than just using it myself. I think also maybe one of the reasons I was feeling like we need a little clearing and stabilizing moment before I share today's first topic is because I think that it could be a little unsettling. And I know actually it is unsettling because I've recently come into this more than once, which is that when we are trying to overly discipline ourselves as the answer to feeling stuck, it's not always the solution, even though that is what most people will advise, right? Is like, go be consistent and like stop procrastinating. And um, it's not okay just to like sit back. You have to do something about it. And that I do believe is true in a sense, right? Those are things I can agree with. But that still isn't enough for people to make changes. So what else is happening here? And a lot of the times, people are actually feeling disconnected from what they truly want. And that is actually the source of where that inaction comes from. And that is a lot, more complex or deep to explore. So if you're not used to hanging out in those parts or no one else in your life cares about what you truly desire, which I'm really sorry, but it is sad how many people don't actually care about what other people do desire in their own lives, or how many people just accept this is how life is. Life doesn't hand us good things. We're all meant to struggle, or, that person is just in my life and it is what, yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. I hear that phrase in my mind a lot in this stuck energy that I tune into to try and help you all with. And so really, we don't know what we want if we've been, I mean, a huge amount of people's lives, honestly, are like people pleasing and just pleasing others, not even doing it as you might think, no, I'm not really people pleaser because people aren't ever happy with me. But if you are looking to make sure that others are happy, if disappointing someone panics you so much that you shut down or you try to over explain yourself, or this disappointing thing, that could also be part of pleasing others. You could also be living your life from a lot of fear, and like survival. Fear and survival make it very difficult to sense what you desire because it's simply not a priority. If some part of your nervous system is thinking, okay, we've got to get out of here because there is imminent danger ahead, then you're not thinking, well, what would I like to do next that would bring meaning to my life? Just you're not in that place at all. So it's such a privilege I've even gotten to receive visions and dreams of what it is that I think might make me happy, but you know, you really don't know until you're there as well. Also, people like spend a lot of their lives doing what looks sensible because it's kind of awkward socially to be doing different things. I've maybe been like, I don't know, I've maybe felt different my whole life. And so I don't know if I ever got the privilege of feeling like I actually was sensible or fitting in that much. I did my best, I think, when I was growing up. But I certainly always felt like I didn't quite belong. I always felt like an adult who just needed to not be a kid anymore. And I think that's also part of that. Like the big amount of my life was trying to figure out just like what I'm supposed to want in order to please people. And when you're in a fear place, it's very difficult to see what actually would be the best path, which is the path that feels the best for you, because it's just hard to feel your feelings when you're in a state of fear more often than not, or you're just in a state of fear often. You might not even address it as fear. So let me say, fear also looks like being frozen and shut down. Fear looks like being numb or overwhelmed because there is something that is causing that in the back part of your mind, right? This is why subconscious work or working with intuitive, deep people, I don't think there's a, yeah, I don't think it's a matter of someone being deep or not, but however you say it, also a lot of people do a lot of things out of like obligation or perceived responsibility. And so then the desires that you truly have can become quieter. Even myself, who I think I've really been choosing a lot of things that I enjoy and reaching towards what I desire and pursuing my dreams pretty boldly for a number of years. I can see now even my entrance into healing work or the ways in which I've not wanted to share as much publicly is really because of like an embarrassment or fear of what it may be perceived as. And it wasn't conscious. It wasn't something that I was actively thinking. So it wasn't tripping me up on a day-to-day basis. I wasn't thinking, no, I'm worried about Sally down the street and what she thinks of my YouTube video. Because I never would think that. Like logically, I wouldn't think that. But there was a belief there that it's dangerous to do different things because you are then ostracized from others, or you are then out of the crowd or out of the family. In my family dynamic, my mother left home and my dad left home and then never really were welcomed back into their families. And so that has sat heavy with me for a number of years because my father really understands my need to go off and do my own thing, but then he never stayed in touch with his family. So it worries me. Oh, are we going to be able to stay in touch? Is he even going to have the skill? Can he? Will he stay in touch with me? And I greatly want to stay in touch with every one of them in a way. And then my mother's family, it was similar. She left home and it was seen as like, fine, you're out, basically. And I think that lack of care is something I did not want my parents to feel, even though it was on my heart that I needed to travel even internationally, right? So yeah, it's what are we supposed to want anyway? So those desires that have been held back get quieter over time, those desires from what you actually truly are seeking in your life. And then people generally try to solve it with like a tougher routine. And believe me, I do this to myself. I was literally thinking this morning about this, and that's what led me to make this video. People try to solve it with like higher productivity, and boy, have I tried that for years as well, and it does not actually solve it, even though it does bring more fulfillment in certain ways. People try to solve it with 5 a.m 6 a.m wake ups, right? With just adding more discipline. I just need more discipline, and that might also be true. Okay, so not taken away from that, but it's like, discipline towards what? You can be so productive at building a life that you're not even actually wanting. So you want to be very intentional about actually checking in on the feelings and desires and what feels alive with you, what feels inspired, what you're receiving the whole time that you're implementing all this discipline, all this forward movement. You just got to dig in and do it. Oh my gosh. And I really feel, I mean, there's often, especially for some reason, a lot of my male friends, if they are saying like, oh, I just gotta get back, I'm like, oh, I actually like feel for them. I actually really feel like, oh, because I feel like they're beating themselves up in their mind. They're like, you better do this or you're not cut out for anything. And it's like a really harsh I don't know. It's like a mean uncle. I don't know. It just feels like angry, like you're angry at yourself for not doing better. You're trying to correct yourself, correct bad behavior. And no one's bad, right? We're all doing our best. And if you don't feel you're doing your best, then beating yourself up still isn't going to help. So, okay. Some signs that you have a deeper desire somewhere within you, because some people are like, I don't really know what I want. You feel like you are very curious. There's certain things that really pique your interest, or a whole bunch of topics really pique your interest. Simply the idea of being curious whether there is a deeper purpose or desire or path for you, that is a sign that you do obviously already have deeper desires. And so that curiosity is seeking answers. Also, if you feel a sense of aliveness, and let me explain what this means because it's a weird one to explain. Do you ever go out in public and just see a bunch of zombie folk? Sometimes I go into public and I'm like, oh, I was able to have some nice little chats. That was awesome. And other times I go out and I think, whoa, everyone seems like they were like, ooh, like in a, ooh, just pulled back in a zone. I'm not sure what's going on. The human race sometimes can be quite concerning when you see how overwhelmed, overloaded people are on a day-to-day basis. And yet I tend to crack through a lot of those little moments with people because I sort of living in a very alive and present way. I notice now how that's actually quite different than the norm. And so I'm able to maybe sometimes shake out the tree a little bit if someone hasn't been used to that. As well, if you just have like energy. So also, I would say you have deeper desires if the thing that brings you back from low energy is the idea that some change could be made. Now, sometimes we ruin our chances of accepting the next change because we are telling it what the change has to be. And that's what I'm sort of encouraging you to slow down a little bit on. Building systems for me is building systems that can be sustained. And if you're beating yourself up, that really can't be sustained because somewhere, some part of you emotionally, mentally, spiritually will start breaking down. Even if, so like, for example, if someone was like, okay, I did this for myself, for example, I'll say, like, I really want to go all in on this or that. I just get really excited. That excitement, that energy is like part of the aliveness that it tells me there is a deeper desire. Doesn't necessarily mean the thing has to be worked on right then and there, right? But it is something that you can like keep going back to. The challenge that I'm seeing is a lot of folks are like having that disconnect between even knowing what they desire anymore. So you might feel yourself lean slightly towards something. And let me give you a quick intuitive trick that I used to teach in empath energetics. Okay. So you can be a body pendulum yourself. So usually I get someone to just stand still and then feel a no in their body. And if they feel a no in their body, what does their body do? For me, it shifts back a little bit. So I actually get this like little, just a very tiny sensation that I sort of rock backwards. And so it's pulling me back, right? And I go, "Ooh, that's a no." So I'm sensing into something. Sometimes I'll do this with food, right? If you're at a restaurant and you're not sure if something has, yeah, I don't know. I have some food sensitivities at the moment I think from all my travel and just my body being stressed out in that respect alone. It's not easy to put your body through the lifestyle and work and mentality that I do. So I am conscious about if some food is going to sort of throw off any of those sensitivities. I will move in my seat if I feel like I'm leaning towards it. It's like, oh, I'm safe to eat this. If I feel like, ooh, I feel actually like a halt, pause or something. Anyway, little trick. But you can do this if you're just standing around and thinking about something. You can say like, which way am I meant to go, this way or that way? When you're at a fork in the road, yes and no's are easy. Those are easy. Your body knows what you're meant to do in that moment. Doesn't mean that can't change also, but your body knows what you're meant to do in that moment. So trusting that feeling. That's a thing that a lot of people are very shut off to these days. And just because you have a desire, right, doesn't mean you're going to get that instant gratification. And in fact, the best things in my life are the things that have taken some time and some effort and some winding maneuvers in order to even allow in. And then it sort of drops in as if it was natural and here the whole time. So that whole spike of excitement and blah, 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 it really doesn't last as long as like the actual journey is. The actual journey has you cycling through emotions and different fears or doubts or teachings. You have to go and learn new things in order to figure stuff out as well. A real desire within you can ask you for like courage to be seen, to earn income, so there's definitely beliefs in family systems or ancestral patterns or conditioning that you're just around that will tell you how you're supposed to feel or think about or make money, right? For me, becoming an entrepreneur was interesting because when I look at some of the family patterns on one side, there are some what you would call successful business owners. And I would say that they were not modeling values that I believe in. So they were unkind people to a great degree, actually. There was also failures in business that caused stress and hardship that caused those people to want to earn more. And then I'm in this generation underneath it, and I didn't get to know any of those people, but I know the stories enough to sort of like from my own experiences to piece it together. It's made it complex in a sense. Of course, now I just say I choose what my visions would like for me, and therefore what I desire is matching those needs. And what my ancestors want from me is to keep enjoying the journey instead of stopping making money and then enjoying. That doesn't make any sense, right? So also your real desire will, I would say, always ask you to change. There's no way you can stay the way you are and then accept your real desires that haven't been met yet, because you even will be changed by receiving them. So also you might have to, well, you probably will have to leave things behind, because in order to bring new things into life, space has to be made for them. And you might just have to do like a hard reset and start again. And I've done many hard resets, I feel like, because living nomadically, you can just choose at any moment that this is your hard reset, because in many ways life is that way, especially when I'm on my own. So I have a few questions for you. I do like asking questions on these, and I love when I receive comments that answer them, because I think it's good for us to actually be active here on social media and engage and connect. And if something about what I'm saying is reaching a part of you, then probably a part of you is wanting to be seen and share. And so please, I will read it and I will enjoy. So a question for you, a few questions. What is giving you energy? And what keeps returning? I feel it's like a tug on the sleeve. What keeps returning for you? What's something that you love to learn about or research and no one has to tell you to go do it? You're just like, I'm obsessed with this, or this is so interesting to me. What are you envious of or jealous of in others? That's a really revealing one. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm so jealous. Like people will say, oh, I'm so jealous that you can just do what you want. And I'm like, well, no one told me to go do what I want. No one gave me permission. One time my mom gave me permission, but it was like last year. I was already doing what I needed to do, you know. But it was encouraging still to hear that from her, because she was like, I think you need to be a bit like focused on just what you want this year. Because she could see that for many years I was just trying to serve others and help make others happy, you know. And then what kind of lifestyle keeps gently appearing in your imagination? There's sort of, I just know that there's like a place that people drift to, but often we're not talking about it or spending enough time really grabbing the information there to make sense of it. So I believe that you have a life that somewhere, sometimes you might drift off to, or that appears in your imagination. You dream of being able to travel, to feel like you own what you're doing, to feel like you make your own decisions on a day to day, just to feel like no one's telling you what to do could be your dream life. You could be like me and dream of like a whole bunch of visions, and all of these pieces keep coming back in my mind's eye, in my imagination, because I'm meant to see them through, in my opinion. And if I don't see all of them through, I'll still have seen maybe 80% of them through, which is more than a lot of people ever let themselves try for in life. So that inner signal of our desires, of our feelings, this is what I would love to help you connect with. What is it that you want that you've been trying to talk yourself out of? So what's it that you truly want without trying to be talked out of it? I think just if you are someone who is noticing that you're talking yourself out of things, focus on feeling present in the body, and one big thing that you could do to step towards it. Instead of all these little things, instead of go be disciplined and go be consistent, make one deep change. Maybe you need to sign up for a class. I've always been thinking about learning to cook, and then I've never wanted to, and then you finally do it. Maybe it's that you have an apology to make and you want to say, hey, I messed up in this way. And, you can let the other person make the decision that they need to do, but to open your heart and say, I'd really love to discuss this, or I don't feel good about the fact that this happened. That is life-changing because it shows that you're pushing past that discomfort. It's not comfortable to do this sort of thing. So if you are needing some support in getting back to these concepts within yourself, you could think about booking a session with me. There's a couple weeks left in August, so there's still the 30% off. I love that many people have been able to take advantage of that. I've been able to come and receive healing, and more are getting booked as well for the future, which is cool. I would love to. I'm actually on my own the next month or so. So it'd be really great to do more private sessions since I have the space to. And yeah, 30% off. That's only going to be in August. I don't have any sales happening in September or October that I know of because I'm focusing on Oracle Fest focus at that time. So I can kind of wave in and out of how many sessions I open up for. And as well, I have the Spirit-Led Business Mentorship Group. So if you have a vision or a business on your heart, if there's some work that you really feel you're meant to do, or you don't even know what that work is, there is actually a space within this mentorship for you because it's a group mentorship. So there are some people who are like really in their systems and on their business and just looking to scale it in a way that feels right and is well paced for them. And then there's folks who are like, I know a few things I want to do, but I keep coming back here because I want to feel like I am working towards something and coming to deal with your limiting beliefs, those mindset issues. It really does help. It helps open up our confidence towards what we're meant to do in this world. So any one of those, and if you don't fit in one of those spectrums, but you still have a vision, you'd like to talk to me, you can always send me a message, or we could do a quick call at some point and I can help you pick your best path forward. The Spirit-Led Business Mentorship Group is only $200 a month, and I'm there twice a week and for like an hour and a half each time. So I think it's an incredibly good deal because I've been a virtual assistant and a business coach and I've been all those things. I've also been a spiritual oracle and advisor. I've done social media strategy, virtual assistant work. I bring a lot of things to the table when we have conversations about what in business you could do or what on your own, you're meant to do for your own vision. Anyway, that's that. I just wanted to say, because sometimes people think, oh, a business thing, I'm not there yet. Well, you don't have to be there. The whole point is actually holding space for getting there, whatever that looks like to you, to each person. I'm going to do the rest of these videos when I get to the next spot that I'm staying at, because I just want to finish my packing and things before it gets too late. And I will see you all later. It doesn't really matter, I guess, me announcing when I'm doing things, but I just feel like I've never really kept YouTube or my social media very well in the loop. And I've been living nomadically for years. And people always said, oh, it'd be so interesting. And I know because I'm finding myself interested in other people's lives. So anyways, I'm just telling you little bits because I think, is this the information you want to hear? Do you want to know where I'm going next, what I'm doing? I don't know. Also, I don't want to like invite any creepy energy of people knowing where I am and then coming to where I am to, you know what I mean? So I'm mindful of it, of not revealing exactly all the time. Maybe it'd be different if there was like if I had a bodyguard. I'm not going to pay for a bodyguard, but if I had a natural bodyguard in my life, I'd probably announce where I am. But Until such a time as that happens. A nay, a nay. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. I would love to know how this resonated with you. And if this is your first time being here, then well, thanks. Welcome for being here and getting this far. And maybe you want to like and subscribe so that you keep returning to this heart's frontier, this space beyond our hearts and what lies between them. So enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are, and we will chat soon, everyone.